Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update from Monday, September the 22nd, 2014. The Associated Press reports that reconciliation talks between Palestinian factions Hamas and Fatah began today in Cairo. As you may have seen on IBA News, indirect talks with Israel were set to get underway there tomorrow in an effort to negotiate an extended ceasefire agreement in the recent crisis with Gaza. Israel is expected to express its demands to prevent the rearming of Hamas in Gaza and for Gaza's ultimate demilitarization. Hamas will likely demand opening the border crossings from Gaza into Egypt and Israel and the building of an airport and seaport there. The Jerusalem Post reports that U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry was set to meet with Israel's former president Shimon Peres in New York City at the Waldorf Astoria today. Kerry later was set to meet with the European Union's foreign policy chief Catherine Ashton to address Iran's nuclear program. He met yesterday with Iran's foreign minister Javad Zarif. The United Nations General Assembly begins this week in New York City on Wednesday, September the 24th, running through next Tuesday the 30th. U.S. President Barack Obama is set to speak on the opening day, as will Iranian President Hassan Rouhani. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas is expected to make his appeal for Palestinian statehood at the assembly this week. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will fly out of Israel to New York after Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and address the assembly on either the 29th or 30th. The Israeli Prime Minister addressed his weekly cabinet meeting yesterday, where he approved a large allocation for the city of Sderot, which was hard hit by rocket fire during the Gaza conflict. Netanyahu said that tomorrow he will submit an additional financial supplement for approval for other cities and communities in the south, including a new hospital for Beersheba. He also mentioned establishing a national authority for cyber defense in Israel, defending important facilities and security agencies, as well as Israeli citizens against cyber threats and attacks. The Prime Minister said of this new authority, it is, in effect, the creation of an air force against new threats and not to rely on this being carried out by existing agencies. He said, "We are in a new world. We are preparing with new forces. This has very major significance for the defense of the State of Israel in the future." As the Jewish year nears an end, Israel's Population and Immigration Authority released figures on Sunday for the official population of Israel as 8.9 million, about 75% of which is Jewish. The population grew 2% since last year. The number of new immigrants to Israel over the last year is 24,801. Prime Minister Netanyahu said that the population figures are meaningful to the Jewish community some 70 years after the start of the Holocaust. Netanyahu said more than 6 million Jews live here. This number has great significance in light of our people's history in the previous century as well as in the current one. And a welcome ceremony was held today in Israel for the final Olim, or new immigrants, to the country for the Jewish year 5774. The 140 Olim were greeted at Ben Gurion Airport by Minister of Aliyah and Immigrant Absorption Sofa Lanfer and Jewish Agency Chairman Natan Sharansky. The American Jewish Committee yesterday praised the unanimous adoption by the U.S. Senate of the United States-Israel Strategic Partnership Act last week. As we reported to you on Friday, the measure, co-sponsored by Senators Barbara Boxer of California and Roy Blunt of Missouri, recognizes Israel as a major U.S. strategic partner and paves the way for further cooperation on a range of issues. Director of the AJC's Office of Government and International Affairs, Jason Isaacson, said the U.S.-Israel relationship today, as always, is strong, based on shared values and common goals, adding that given the new and growing security challenges in the region and beyond, the Strategic Partnership Act not only reaffirms but further deepens the all-important U.S.-Israel alliance. The Israeli relief organization IsraAid is sending a medical team to Sierra Leone to help in the Ebola crisis. The nonprofit non-governmental organization's professionals will provide support training to social workers and community organizations dealing with families affected by the disease's outbreak, as well as work with local government and health providers to raise awareness to help prevent the further spread of Ebola. IsraAid was founded in 2001 and is committed to providing life-saving disaster relief and long-term support. And turning now to our Shalom TV programming for tonight, Monday, September the 22nd. At 8 o'clock, Ephraim Imbar, professor of political studies at Bar-Ilan University, talks about the war in Gaza, its impact on Israel, and other threats to the state. And then at 9, author of When Bad Things Happen to Good People, Rabbi Harold Kushner, sits down with Mark Golub on L'chaim. And at 10 o'clock, Kushner offers his perspective on coping with personal tragedies in discussing his latest book, Overcoming Life's Disappointments, based on the life of Moses in the Torah, from the 92nd Street Y. That's tonight here on Shalom TV and shalomtv.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update from Monday, September the 22nd, 2014. I'm Teisha Bader.